Hey everyone, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are. My name is Boom Shikha, and in this video we're going to be speaking about, of course, INFJs, but how INFJs are hypersensitive to everything around in their environment and specifically to the people in their environment. I don't know what it is. I started being like this when I was very young, and so I know exactly when my parents were upset, either with each other or with me. And so I knew instantaneously that I need to be on my guard and I need to be alert because something's going to happen that's going to cause a disequilibrium or imbalance in my environment. And we're always constantly trying to keep our environment steady. Also, our parents fought a lot. I think that also helped me become an intuitive because they would fight and then they'd get angry and upset with each other, and I had to become the mediator in between them, and also had to make sure that I protected my brother and sister from it, right? So instantaneously, I started using these skills. I don't know if it was nature or nurture. Was I born with these skills as an intuitive, or did I develop them because I needed to be around my parents in order to live a balanced, stable life, right? My mom is very intuitive as well, so I think it has to do partly with the fact that it's genetic. But I was intuitive from the very beginning, so I was really alert to all of my surroundings. I'd be sitting there all the time, making sure that my surroundings were stable. So if anything kind of changed, even a little bit in my environment, I had to be really careful because it could affect me in turn, right? And that's what INFJs do. We're constantly observing our environment. We're constantly observing the world. We're constantly observing the people in our environment, specifically our partners, our people in our relationship with us, friends, family, obviously, and strangers, because there's a lot of uncertainty involved with strangers, and we want to be careful because if they come into our environment and they bring that uncertainty with them, then that's going to affect us, right? I'm going to start speaking specifically about the partnerships and relationships. And I've noticed this with a lot of INFJs, and we all complain about this, that we are so hypersensitive that instantaneously, as soon as our partner is upset in any way or has changed their mood in any way, we are alert to it, right? So we know that they're upset. Even if I'm on the phone with my partner, my ex-partners, because I'm not with anyone right now, but even if I'm on the phone with them and their mood switches, I know instantaneously, and I'll be like, okay, what's going on? Well, what's wrong? Why are you upset all of a sudden? And a lot of them are actually freaked out by that, and that's the reason I don't do that often unless it's absolutely necessary. But they don't understand how I would know. But that's what INFJs are all about. Even if I am online with someone or I'm on the phone with them, I know if their mood has switched or if something's changed with them. I guess it's something. It's an intuitive thing, right? Like maybe the vibrations in their voice, in their throat, kind of goes down a little bit or it goes high, whatever it might be. But intuitively, I know that something switched between them or in them, and I get on high alert. The problem with that is being on high alert all the freaking time because people change their moods all the time. They're upset, they're angry, they're happy, they're up, and they're down, they're here, they're there, everywhere, right? And so we need to be, as INFJs, really careful because we're going to spend so much of our time and energies on these mood changes, and we're always going to be wondering, oh, are they upset with me? Did I do something wrong? Can I do something to fix them? How can I make them happy? How can I make sure that they're all right? Maybe I should feed them. Maybe constantly thinking about this other person, constantly trying to make sure that they are all right. That's not our responsibility. We are the counselors. Yes, we are. We're deemed that because people always come to us with their problems. Even strangers will stop me on the street and talk to me about their problems. But doesn't mean that we constantly have to be playing that role all the time, specifically in our partnerships, because it has to be a give and take. We can't always be taking care of them. They have to be taking care of us as well. But at INFJs, we have a hard time with other people taking care of us. We don't like it. We don't like giving up control. I think of it as basically giving up control. If I'm vulnerable in front of someone, letting them know how I feel or how I'm doing, then they're going to come back at me and use it against me in the future. Obviously, this is a really negative way of looking at things, but obviously it has happened in the past. That's the reason I use it as an example. But I don't want to do that. Also, I don't want to base all of my life on figuring out if this person that I'm with is all right or not. They can take care of themselves. They're an adult. I'm an adult. We can take care of ourselves. But when they need me, because we're adults, they can come to me and communicate that to me and say, I need you right now. I feel terrible. I want some space, or I need some time, or I want a hug, or I want a kiss, or whatever it might be, right? They can communicate that to me. Because though we're so intuitive, we know mostly before the person knows what they're feeling. A lot of times we're like, oh, so you're sad right now, right? And they'll be like, well, oh, right, yeah, I am sad. A lot of times I'll actually message my sister, and I'll have had a dream about her, or I've had a feeling that, she's upset, and I'll message her, and she's like, how did you know that? I was upset, really, really upset today, but I journaled a little bit and all that stuff. I feel better now. And so it's weird how we actually know these things. I can't explain it. No INFJ can really explain it, but we just know things, and it's kind of, I guess, it is a sixth sense, but it's a sixth sense that we have no control over. I wish we had more control over it. I wish that we were in a situation where we could say, okay, I'm going to turn it off right now, because I sometimes feel like I really want to turn off this sixth sense, because it gives me way too much information about the environment, about the world, about the people in the world that I don't want, because people are fickle and they're constantly changing their moods and their perspectives and things like that. And if I'm getting all that information all the time, it is basically like I'm hearing everyone's thoughts around me all the freaking time, and that can be extremely exhausting. It's really tiring to be in that situation, right? I think that's the reason INFJs spend so much time on their own. I spend a lot of time in my apartment because I don't want to be around that. As soon as I go into the real world around people, if I'm in a cafe or around friends, instantaneously I'm on alert, because all of these messages are coming from all over the people around me. This person is stressed out because they're not making enough money. This person is sick because they didn't eat well yesterday. This person's having an issue with their boyfriend. So all of these messages, all of this emotion is coming into me, and because I'm an empath, I'm taking it on for them. They feel better after. I feel terrible after. And then I have to go home and recharge, spend a few days on my own in my cave, and then go back out again. I don't want to do that, though, a lot of times, because I want to use that energy as a creative person. I'm a writer. I want to be able to use that energy for writing, for my creative purposes, rather than giving it all away to all these individuals, because they can take care of themselves, right? We are not necessarily the only counselor on this planet, and also we don't need to take care of everyone around us. I'm learning that slowly as time goes on, because I have a hard time not taking care of people. That's the reason I've actually moved away from my family, because they require a lot of energy, and I've moved into this apartment by myself. I don't want to live with anyone. I don't want to be around anyone. I can't have roommates. I want to be on my own, doing my own thing, because otherwise I give way too much of myself. And most INFJs, all INFJs are like this. We give way too much of ourselves away. We have nothing left behind for ourselves and for our projects and for ourselves, for our own purposes, right? And so we spend most of our time in burnout mode because we're just giving too much of ourselves away. The more I've learned about myself, the more I know that I need to not do that anymore. Because people can take care of themselves, but I need to take care of myself. And so I can't. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm not giving myself away to people anymore. But we have, again, a sixth sense. We know what's going on in this world. Instantaneously, sometimes we know what's going on. And I'll walk into a room and I'll know exactly where each person is emotionally and physically and energetically. I know. And even if they tell me after, and it obviously affirms it, it doesn't really matter, because I already knew where they were. And if I have enough energy at that point, and I've done all my creative projects and I've taken care of everything, and I have energy to give, I will sit down with these people and I'll talk to them and I'll give a little bit of my energy to make themselves feel better. That's totally fine with me. I'm not saying that we all have to be completely selfish, but we need to be a little bit selfish, right? And that's something that's really hard for INFJs, to be selfish, to take time for ourselves, to take our energy back for ourselves, to use all of our stuff for ourselves. I'm constantly called selfish by people, but I deliberately am creating myself to be selfish. It's so funny how when people say, you're so selfish, I'm like, yeah, I want to be selfish. You know how hard it is for me to be selfish? So I want to be like this. It's hard for me to be like this, but it's necessary for me to be like this in order to be creative, in order to do all these things. These YouTube videos that I do, they take a lot of energy. All the podcasts I run, all the blog posts I write, all the novels I write, all of it takes a lot of energy. And if I gave away all of myself to all the people around me, because they would take and take and take, and they would never ever give back, it's how it is, then I'd feel exhausted and depleted, and I would never have energy to do all these things. So I'm deliberately being selfish. So if you tell me that I'm being selfish, that's actually a compliment to an INFJ. It's actually a good thing. We want to try and be selfish. Not completely and not all the time, but as much as possible, because it's very easy for us to give all of ourselves away, all of our time, energy, spirit, money, everything. It's like we'll just give everything of ourselves away and live like monks, and we're totally fine with that. I don't want to be that. I want to do my creative work, right? And I hope that this makes sense to you guys as an INFJ. If you are an INFJ or if you're dating an INFJ, please, please, please try and take care of them, especially if you're dating one. Do not let them give all of themselves away to you, because they will do that. You know? Remind them over and over again that they can take care of themselves and I can take care of myself as well. Tell them that so they can take time for themselves, because they really, really, really do need it. Hope this makes sense to you guys. Again, my name is Boom Shikha, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. If you want to join my team, you can join it at patreon.com/boomshikha. Bye for now.